are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 146, and I'm joined none other than by the Brooklyn Outlaw himself, Donovan. What's going on, brother? Good evening.
Oh man, another day, another day. You already know with all the
Uh,
things that we got going on out here. So
yeah, it's one of those where it's a scary situation right now. But hey, we gotta push through. We gotta keep it going. But also, before we even get started with the conversation, I did want to also wish my condolences to the family as well. Today we lost a legend. We lost the Iron Sheik. Again, it's a tough loss for the community, but hey, he's in a better place. So
yeah,
that's let's get into this here. Let's start talking. But before I get to the questions, I do want to ask you. I have the first question to ask everyone. You heard the name of the show. It's called Respect the Craft. So when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
well, the beautiful sport of professional wrestling. Um, and it's not only just the end result when it comes to professional wrestling. When you speak about your craft, period, you're talking about everything that's put into it. Whether it means going to the gym, working out, making sure that you look good, working on your look. Also, taking your time to go put yourself out there to actually go train. you know, Go sit in your house, look in front of a mirror, cut a promo, everything that all relates to your craft, which is at the end of the day professional wrestling, which is why we're all here.
Gotcha. Perfect. No, that sums it up right there. So now let's get into this here. Let's start talking a little bit about Donovan here, because again, this is the conversation I wanted to have because you're someone I've gotten to see for years now, as also someone that has been a part of this business for a better part of close to 2 decades now, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So it's one of those where again, so I got to start with this because I want to see if we can talk a little bit about evolution here. Because how do we get to the guy we're seeing today from this guy right here?
Well, that guy that you saw right there was a young kid who was just trying to do kind of fit into what he thought professional wrestling was supposed to be. Um, you know, when I was trained and I was taught, the look was always, put a pair of tights on. That's the professional wrestling look. That's what everybody's looking for and all this other stuff. Not realizing, yeah, it was the right way to go when you first start out, but then over time, as you start to learn, as you start to pick up on your craft, you start realizing, remember that everybody comes in all different shapes, sizes, come from different places. So it's a matter of how you put together your brand, put together your story, put together where you came from. And that was pretty much me just trying to fit the mold of what I thought a professional wrestler was supposed to be instead of actually just being myself, you know? And as you can see over time, over the little bit of evolution, over time, it was always me fitting in to what I thought the business was supposed to be or fitting into my situation. And, now I'm me, you know? I've never been more comfortable in the ring, presenting myself as I am. And, I've never felt, I've never felt more real about what I do than what I'm doing now.
Gotcha. So that's perfect because it could segue here into. So you would say a lot of times you had to almost feel like you had to accommodate the situation you were in, be it if it's a certain tag team, if it's a situation like that, you wanted to just be, hey, whatever role I need to be, I'm in there.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, I was very new to professional wrestling at that time, and I just wanted to do whatever it took for me to actually make it.
Yeah,
I was willing to go out there and actually do it. You know, so if it meant me putting on a singlet, me putting on a corny little jacket like I was rocking there and stuff like that, you know, that's what it took. If that's what it took, that's what I was gonna do. You know,
okay, gotcha.
and just like I said, now it's just I'm representing who I am. I've This is me, 100%. And again, I've never felt more like myself than I do now.
Okay. So now let's jump ahead a little bit. Let's go from those that humble beginning there, finding yourself still, getting your feet wet, like we say, to then a team that I feel like, especially if you've known the tri-state indie wrestling, you might be familiar with this team right here. And it was jumping into style and finesse days. So
Mhm.
how did that come about and how was that for you to now? this was a team that, again, it's I feel like, especially at the House of Glory days, the Warriors of Wrestling, like the team was, it was known around.
Well, actually, during that time, it was a very good experience, and it was something actually that happened by mistake. Uh, yeah, Mike Morgan was, if you know the story about the Ace Pro Wrestling Arena, which was the original, I guess, Mecca.
Yeah.
That's the name everybody likes to throw around about the building, but you know, the real, what actually we used to call it ECW Arena 2.0. That was the new ECW Arena because everybody was trying to run there. Morgan was very selective on who ran there because if you really see the shows that ran there, Chikara, Evolve, you know, Dragon Gate USA, I think ran one time there. It was all big promotion. There was never no small scale thing. It was always a big promotion that ran in that building. And during that time, we were actually wrestling on the third floor of that building. Mike had finally, bringing it a little bit behind the curtain right now. Mike had was able to get the second floor, which was a bigger space. It made it easier to throw the shows. He was able to build bleachers there and everything like that. Place was dope. And that, to be honest with you, that wasn't even the side that all the feds were running. It was actually the other side of the building that he first got,
Oh, okay.
which was an old like gymnastics studio and everything like that. And so on the last show on the third floor, he ended the show. The last show, he ended it with a tag match, and it was me and Rob that we were just throwing together. I guess for the storyline purposes of what we were doing. It's a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember right now. But
All good, all
it
good.
was trying. It was him teaming up me and Rob trying to throw us together, and then putting us up against I believe it was Joe Hardway and I can't remember the other guy. I think it might have been a kid by the name of either Dan Dynasty or Chris Rockwell or something. One of
Okay,
those two. One of those two.
gotcha.
And and me and Rob at that time we knew about each other. We were cool with each other, but we weren't like that.
Okay,
Not yet at least.
at least, yeah.
Yeah. And we got in there and we just gelled and you know the the like it's really hard to find people that you can go ahead and just fits like a glove. And when me and him, the chemistry was already there. Just it fit, it worked. And after the match, that was the first thing that was said. They were like, "Yo, you guys gel really well. You guys have that chemistry already. You guys should team." So we went ahead and we started teaming up. We had no name. Rob Vegas and I forgot what the fuck my name was at that time. um, but we started teaming up, and it was when we were training. Um, Jay Lethal, when he was training the guys, he would always do something, and always would say, I'm doing it with style and finesse, and that's where the name came from.
Okay,
Rob heard him say it so many times, so he was just like, "Yo, we're style and finesse," and I was like, "All right, I'm with it." The name sounds good. Um, and then when it came all to all the gear designs and everything, Rob can even tell you he was really corny with that. So I came up with a lot of the designs, and and we just like I said, we just gelled and we were really good together. And there's a lot of things we could have done. There was just I could say this, like I said, I'm very real and I don't hold back on what I say. I think during that time it was a level of immaturity on both of our parts,
okay,
and and the fact that we didn't see what was right in front of us, and we were too busy listening to other people in higher places that kind of stunt our growth. Because I felt like, and even him when we have these conversations now, because after we teamed up and everything, at one point we were even living together, and we became really close friends, and we could both say that if we stuck together and we actually were as smart as we are in the business now, could have there's possibilities that we could have been on TV somewhere.
so I have to ask, with that being said, could we ever see, because again, I know that the saying is never say never, but could we see a reunion possibly, especially with both of you guys now a lot more smarter in the business, a lot more wiser than where you were at the time. Could we see an even better version now of Style and Finesse?
Well, no. No disrespect though. I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah. No,
It's
I
all in
have to ask it
character.
because again, it's one of those where I know both of you are still doing your own things as well. So it's one of those
Nah,
where
but
it has to be thrown out there.
yeah, it's actually no. I'm not gonna lie. We're actually having a reunion match
Okay.
on July 7th. Actually, for East Coast Professional Wrestling
Oh, okay.
(ECPW).
There you go.
It's me and him versus Azrael and Brawley. If you guys want to go check it out, check out ECPW's Instagram page. I don't know the handle, don't ask me.
There
Yeah,
you
you
go.
can check
I
them
feel like by
out.
now, again, if you're watching this,
I'm pretty.
you definitely know about ECPW. So go
I'm pretty.
check them out.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put it on my stories in the
There
following
you go.
days soon.
Yeah,
As soon
we'll
as
make
those
sure to plug
shows
your
come up.
socials later, so
Yeah.
they'll be able to see it there, and they'll be able to see the reunion happen. But again, that's
Exactly.
perfect. Again, even if it's the one off, it's just one of those to see. Hey, let's see what could have happened. We do it again one day, you know.
No, no, yeah,
So
absolutely. The idea came out. They presented it to me, and I was just like, "Yeah, that's Rob. Of course, I'm a team with him. That's my boy."
gotcha. Again, it's one of those just to see. Hey, now it's a lot wiser. There's a lot more skills that you guys are bringing to the table, and just the experience factor you guys both have now. Because especially even since then, you've been a part of some great groups, some great teams. So let's jump a little more ahead. Let's talk about this experience and how is this for you getting to be a part of the Unwanted.
Oh
So
man,
shout out to them because again, just look at that who's who right there in that group.
right
How
there,
is that for you in that
for
experience being a
sure, for
part of that?
sure. Ah man, it was I kid you not. It, it felt like I can't even explain. You brought me back now. I'm thinking about it, and all the the butterflies and just how I felt, that raw emotion that I felt during that time because obviously during that time working for Evolve meant that you were one step closer to possibly being in NXT.
Yeah.
You know, so which then possibly obviously says you're rocking with the E. And during that time, I no lie. Before then, I was always had that little conceitedness in me, I guess you can say, where I always I'm not gonna go to seminars. Seminars for what? Which is stupid. And I'd say that if you're in the business and you're trying to learn, go to a seminar, bro. Go learn. Again, continue to perfect your craft. But the only thing I will say though is that if you go to a seminar, make sure you go to one with someone that actually made money off the business. Don't go to just some random Joe Schmo that wants to throw a seminar because he had like his 15 minutes of fame or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of those guys are very intelligent. They just didn't get the opportunity. But again, the guys that have been in the systems, the guys that know how to make money off the business, those are the guys you want to learn from. Like, even just in life, they always tell you, or just the way I look at it, I'd rather be in a room with people that are doing better than me because I'm going to strive to get up to their level compared to people that are either at your level or worse than you because you ain't learning from them, you know? So I went ahead finally at a certain point. I'm like, you know what? Let me go to one of these. I think the first one I went to was at the Monster Factory for, I believe it was Pat, no, it was Gerald Briscoe. It was Gerald Briscoe and Damian Priest at the time, Punishment Martinez. And Ricky, what is it, Riccaboni? Yeah, Ian
Oh, Ian
Riccaboni.
Riccaboni. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ian Riccaboni. I'm terrible with names,
It's all
by
good,
the way.
man. All good.
Ian Riccaboni, and I went there and I learned so much from all of them, and obviously Briscoe, learning so much, and
Yeah.
then even just from Danny Cage himself, so much knowledge from that man. So I went ahead and after that I was like, I made sure like I'll go to the ones that matter. And sure enough, the next one that came up was for Roderick Strong for Evolve, and it was an Evolve tryout. I did the tryout and everything. I thought I did a fairly good job. A lot of people said that as well. So I thought like I had it in the bag because during that time they would give you a tryout match.
Okay.
So I was excited because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a chance to be on Evolve. And they ended up picking up this kid named Sharkbait, and they put him on the show. So with that, I had kind of like a chip on my shoulder now because I felt some type of way. I was a little tight about it.
Yeah.
Um, so I went ahead and they had a 3 day camp. It was still an evolved tryout,
Okay.
as well as you'll get a trial for WWE.
Okay, so
So
perfect. That's one right there that you're like,
that was
okay,
right, yeah,
now
right
it's
down
put
my
up or shut
alley.
up moment.
Absolutely. So I was like, I'm definitely going to it. So I went ahead and I put my stuff in, went out there, did what I have to do. You know, the trial went really well. Um, didn't get the WWE tryout, but and honestly didn't get you were offered an Evolve contract if you won, and if you didn't, you get the WWE tryout. Uh, two kids ended up getting the WWE tryout. I ended up actually main eventing the show with that kid Sharkbait,
Okay.
and it was for the contract, but he already had the contract, so he won the contract. And Gabe came up to me that night and he said, you did a great job. Don't worry about it. You will be in Evolve. So I was like, all right. I went out there. I went out there for a reason. And sure enough, I went to the next when they came to New York. He already had told me that I was already booked for. They used to do the Saturday Sunday shots.
Okay, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
those. Yeah.
yeah. So he already told me that I was booked for the Sunday shot. And then I went for the Sunday show. I'm so sorry. So I went for the Saturday show just to check it out. I know they were doing trials, so I just wanted to be around and I wanted to show that I'm already a part of the
Yeah,
team.
yeah. Gotcha.
So I show up and I think, what was it? You had Casey Navarro was there trying out. You had a whole bunch of guys trying out there. Casey was one of the kids that got selected that night. Um, and I believe there was a couple open spots, so they gave more than just the normal one person their spot. They gave it for a guy and a girl.
Okay. There
I
you go.
forgot the girl that got picked. Yeah, and there was one more spot open, and I didn't try out. I was just chilling
You were
there,
just there,
sitting
yeah,
there.
yeah. You were trying
Yeah, I
to
was
be
there
supportive
helping.
because you already knew the next day you'd be there.
Yeah, exactly. But then, he had set 3 spots. He gave those 2 spots out, and then he started walking towards me. And I'm like trying to act like I don't see him, but I'm like, oh, he's walking towards me. And I'm like trying to see if anybody's around me. I thought Pena was around me or something because Pena was already doing shots for them there.
Yeah.
And then I look and I'm like, oh, no, he's walking towards me. Hold on a second.
That's when you get
So,
all already like, okay, all professional. Let's go.
yeah, exactly. So then he was like, hey, you're going to start with the unwanted tonight. So everything started from there. Good minds. You got Eddie Kingston. Joe Gacy is already doing his thing in the WWE. Kingston, who's doing his thing in AEW. You got one of the kids from the Samoan Dynasty up in there.
Yeah.
It was it was fantastic. Like, and I already knew Kingston. Me and Gacy actually that was our first time actually meeting.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was our first time meeting, and then right after that, I already knew the other members, so I already knew Kobe. I already knew my other man, so it was already instant fit.
Okay.
And it felt right too. I felt like I fit right in, and it was just crazy being a part of that because again, like I didn't get the contract or anything like that, but I knew still in the same sense that I'm like that opportunity that they're watching
Yeah, I was
is
gonna say the
now very
eyes
big.
are there as well. Like especially you're there where not only are you getting that opportunity that it's right there. It's that next step toward that, but it's also they're always watching to see, okay, who's that
Exactly.
next person we're picking up? Like who are we scouting from here?
Exactly. So it was even bigger. So I'm like, oh, like this is what it feels like. And just, had a great match with it was AR Fox and his group, the Skulk.
Yeah.
So a bunch of great wrestlers in that group as well too. So it was a really good match. It felt good. We went the next night, worked them again. It was another good match. We felt really good about it. The group looked great, and it felt good. It was a good time, man. It was a really
No,
good
yeah, I
time.
definitely that was something where I really got to see you guys a lot, and I was like, it felt like the group was. I feel like that's when I thought it was gonna be an instant. Just they're getting picked up any day now because you guys had that. Just the chemistry was there. It was a natural fit. Just seeing how you guys were, and it felt right. Especially you and Eddie. It's like, okay, it's a no brainer here. Like
Yeah,
that bond was there. Gacy was another one that I feel like he also was that guy that he could fit in anywhere that was needed. Like he just knew how to work the format. When with Maluda there as well, Maluda again, wrestling dynasty right there. Like he knows how to make sure to make anything work. Colby, student of the game, second generation star. How could he not just be ready to jump in there?
exactly.
So it was just perfect, perfect combination right there.
Oh, my damn earpiece went off. Can you still hear
Oh,
me?
oh yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? We good or?
Yeah, I have to do it without my earpiece.
Oh, there you
All
go.
right.
I felt like one moment it was going in and out, but I was like, as long as he could hear me, we're talking, so we're good.
Nah,
So it's all good.
I'm hearing batting to reload. I'm like, damn.
It's all good.
I'm about to be bad up professional.
It's all good, man. As long as you can hear me, we're hearing you. You're good. So,
All right, cool,
but
cool.
let's go to the comments here. What's that? We got Wes and Kyle in the chat saying hello. Thanks for supporting, guys. Always. So they're always fans of Hispanos Unidos too. So with that, let's talk about that now because that's been the newest version here, the newest group that you've gotten to be a part of as well. How has that been getting to be a part of Hispanos Unidos and that ride so far?
I mean, it's been great. I mean, again, when we could go a little bit behind the curtain now.
Yeah.
Espanos Unidos was born and created, through my vision. At that time, um, it was really dry with a lot of Hispanic groups. It wasn't really happening. LAX didn't try again in MLW yet. They sure as hell didn't have the LWO yet. So, I felt like, that something like that needed to happen again. I was trying to, just find another layer of me to put out there. And I'm just like, it'd be a good thing to, you know, create a group, create a faction of all, Hispanic wrestlers that really aren't getting opportunities at the time. And so, I threw out the idea, they were with it. And, I handpicked my guys. Obviously the first one in the group was someone I was already traveling with and actually doing certain shows for WWN and stuff like that, which was Pena. We have crazy chemistry with each other from, you know, out there in the ring to behind the scenes. Like it's instant with me and him. Like we cool as hell and great kid and everything like that. And he's definitely the future. And then you got an OG like Azrael. That's one of the guys that helped train me in this business. So obviously he was out there and ridiculously nobody was really using him like that, and I couldn't understand why.
Yeah, that's something I never understand when it's one of those where it's like you see Az at moments and then it's like, why is no one using him? Like every time I see him, I try to pick his brain just a bit because it's like there's so much knowledge there that it's like, why are people not using that?
It's crazy. It's crazy seeing that, but I mean, I made sure like definitely put in on it, give him a piece of the pie. And then, then we got Trey Felipe, which honestly I can tell you that wasn't a pick of mine. No disrespect to Trey, I love Trey.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a pick of mine. And that he was somebody else brought him to my attention, and I'm like, yeah, I've known Trey for years, but I've never seen him outside of his bubble. You get what I'm So there was definite interest there. So we had a conversation, and ever since then, this kid's one of the best kept secrets in this area right now.
Yeah,
and he honestly needs a lot more love than what he's getting in this business, because he can go.
that was the reason I had him on the show a while back, and I got to break that down and see and hear just that hunger he has.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's still very young in it, so he's not even, I feel like, getting to his peak level yet. He's the minute he kicks through that door, it's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, he has all the tools that are necessary. Just like I said, just like Pena, he has all the tools necessary to get himself signed. It's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of everything. It's a matter of everything finally like clicking.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's not there for both of them, And when it happens, but it's gonna happen. It's not a matter of if it's gonna happen. It's a matter of when it happens, And then obviously we added Sebastian Cage to the group, somebody that I was adamant that had to be in the group too.
Yeah.
Again, one of my little homies that I've known for a while now. And another very talented individual that just again he he's steering back in the right path of where he needs to go. And his hunger is starting, he's getting hungry again, and I can see that. Um, and then we just added a new member in Santos.
Oh,
Pretty
there
good.
you go, Johnny Santos. There you go.
Yeah, good kid. Um, it honestly, and he's a good guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. When he joined, I had a nice conversation with him to let him know, how we kind of do things and how what I see for him, and you know the direction we can all go together. And this isn't me talking in perspective of Pro Wrestling Magic. This is me, because this is where the group is right now. This is me talking about where it can go past Pro Wrestling Magic, because
Gotcha.
I don't see that as a brand that needs to just stay in one location. You know, it might have been birthed there, but that doesn't mean it needs to stay there. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha. No, and
Um,
I love to hear that because also getting to hear, especially a group like that it does involve la cultura there. It's Hispanos Unidos. I love to hear something like that because I feel like it's missing, especially on an indie level. Like now, you see a little bit of it. You see it on the E. You see them having the LWO. You see the representation like in AEW with Lucha Bros, but you don't see it as much. Especially it wasn't there for the longest on the indies with Hispanic culture being represented like that.
no, it really wasn't. That's why I was very adamant to make sure that it was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the last person in the group was definitely handpicked by me, and she knows it because I'll bug every JC Storm.
Oh,
Little
there you
she is. Uh, no, but not even only that. So get your mind out the gutter, man.
go. Hey, no, I'm laughing also at the comments because we spoke about him, but Trey Felipe is in there as well, so he's already
That's right.
going here. So look at that, he's already saying it right there. God help everyone when we expand to other places. There you go.
Facts.
Well, JC right now is representing all the way in Germany right now, so she has to rep the brand all the way over there.
I'm so proud of that girl. How she's really evolved.
Yeah,
Her she's evolved her presentation, and she's gotten a lot more grittier than when I first met her. You know, I'd like to believe I would never take credit for anybody, but I'd like to believe that us all being together, help each and every one of us get better. You
yeah.
know,
No,
being
especially it's that iron sharpens iron mentality, and especially like I said, with the experience you have, especially the experience that Az has, it's one of those where any member that's in there just needs to be trying to pick brains and get themselves better just to be able to keep going as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even Pena's there as well. Like Pena's had his tenure now. He knows what he's been doing, so he has that knowledge to expand as well for the others.
I'm
So
looking when Pena is at his full potential.
yeah,
That's being real. Like even Pena right now, he's riding a wave, and I still look at him, and he knows it. You can even ask him. He knows it, and I still bust his chops, and I still bust his balls every chance I could get because I know the potential that he has, and I'm not gonna be there to sit there and sweet talk him. I'm gonna sit there and really bust his ass on things so he can continue to elevate his game and continue to be like, yo, top that, my guy. So
gotcha.
I want him to get signed. I can see it there. Like I said, even with Trey Felipe, I see the same thing. Like to me, honestly, no disrespect to anybody, I don't see a reason why any one of these members in this group can't get themselves somewhere.
No. Oh, definitely. There's a lot of talent there. And again, just to see the sky's the limit, just seeing where you guys continue to grow and where it could be. You never know who'll be seeing our TV screens very soon.
Facts.
So now let's talk about this. Let's talk about your return now. Because you took a little bit of that hiatus there, but now your travel bag's a little heavier because you got this now around your waist there. So talk about this. How do we get to now the new Dark Arts champion here, Donovan?
I mean, I needed a break from the business. I'm at a stage in my life that I can say I can say comfortably, like I don't I don't need this. No disrespect, because I love professional wrestling. I you know I don't. I'm not one of those kids that have to sit there now and be like, if I, you know, I gotta stop everything to go ahead and make it and everything like that. Like, I'm still gonna give my all regardless when I go out there. I'm still at the gym grinding. I'm still trying to go out there and train and everything like that to continue to perfect my craft. But I'm in a good place in my life right now where it's kind of a way of saying I don't need it, but I'm in it because I love it. And I'm in it because it's a passion of mine. And I'm in it because I know that there's something there. And that's why I can't jump off the ride, you know? Because I know that it's one of those things where you go when you sit back, and during that hiatus, I sat back and the guys would ask me because we were all in a group text anyways, and it's like, when are you coming back? And I'm like, I keep doing that to them because I honestly sat down and with the rest and everything, and I was like, I don't really, eh, you know. And then it just took again. It just takes that one thing, I was watching something. I don't think it was anything on WWE or AEW or any of those things. It was just sitting down. I think it might have just been seeing the boys on IWTV and watching a couple of other shows, and I'm like, yo, why am I not doing that? Like, you know. And again, even before that, there was a time that I was ready to, because you see, everybody tends to just walk away very quickly. A lot of people do, and they don't look back. And like again, it just sometimes it bothers me because I know that there's something there, you know. Whether I've been able to open it up, and like I even say with, like I said, with Penny and them, like to reach my full potential. I know that there's something there, and it's not that I'm not aware of it, Um, and there's always something that happens that when I'm ready to walk away, or I'm ready to just say, you know what, all right, I'd rather just be behind the scenes watching things and helping guys out. There's always something that kicks me in the ass and says, nah, you ain't done yet, bro. You still got
So
more,
so
you
so
know?
you would say like that hunger's still there, something there that's like it's like no, we're not done yet. Like there's still something more that even you haven't gotten to reach yet. There's something more that you're like you're saying with all the guys, the rest of the guys, like oh they haven't hit this, they haven't hit this. There's still something in Donovan that's like yeah, I still got this to get to before I could be like okay now I'm done.
Yeah. Well, not even like I honestly can say like, yeah, like I told you, I even told you, hey, I'm coming from work. Give me a couple minutes,
Yeah,
Again, I'm not afraid to pull behind. I'm not afraid to go behind the curtain with things. You know, I have a fantastic job. I make great money. That's no disrespect to anybody. I make great money. I don't need to do this. I do this because I love it with a
yeah.
passion, and I know the brand that I bring to the table is something, you know, and I just know that I know that it's there, and I'm pretty sure everybody feels that way, but it's just that strong urge and passion it doesn't go away, you know, and it's not something I'm gonna be able to let go until I'm satisfied. And satisfied doesn't mean, oh, let me go be an extra on TV, or oh, let me get on to a dark or something like that. Nah, it's not that, because that's good and everything. And I mean, you can go ahead and boast about yourself all over social, and that's cool. But to me, there's more, man. There's so much more, and it's crazy because I'm sure anybody that's even watching this, if anybody is watching this, they know what that feels like.
Yeah.
They know exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't know what it is. I can't see myself walking away. So, here I am back in, and I always say when you're playing, when you're throwing all your cards on the table, with reckless abandon, you're the most dangerous one on the table right now, you know. So that's how I feel. That's the position I feel that I'm in now. Like, I'm shooting for it and everything, and I with reckless abandonment, man. Because
Gotcha.
another, I'm gonna make it happen.
Gotcha. And no, and it's one of those where I like where this is going because it's definitely it shows that respect for the craft there. It's one of those where it's like you still have that it's like there's more to even give. There's more to be like there's something I could still show for this. It's one of those where it's like it's to continue to have that respect and continue to grow what professional wrestling could be. And it's showing with even the group itself or just you itself that's like you want to do more for the business.
Absolutely.
So I love hearing that. So let's keep it going here. Let's start talking also about some of the matches we got coming up because that was the main reason as well. We want to promote here. We want to keep talking. Hey, look at that. We got Colin West saying they love seeing you and appreciating you at Magic. So there you go. I love and support there. So let's start with this one. Let's start with a night that it's going to be a special day there that's coming up this Saturday. It's Church's Money Day. Again, the day we're all coming together for G's. It's going to be one that we're trying to – it's a special day for Unc. So let's talk about this. Originally, it was scheduled as going to be that one-on-one contest. It was you versus another OG in the game, the Cambodian axe murderer himself, Joker. Then it's put out, match is being changed up. Tune in at 7 a.m. the next day. And from there, we grow to this matchup here. I want to just, it's same contest this is because you got the Demon Saints, Steve Monster Mac, and Joker teaming up here to take on. That's going to be you and the Haas of all Haas's, Devontae's. So let's first start with this. Getting to be a part of a show like this, especially that is which is a special occasion here for Unc for G's to be able to benefit to help out raising funds. What does that mean for you to be able to be on a show like this?
Oh, it's big for me. I mean, I feel like, I've known G's for, I could say, probably about 15 years now. I've known G's. And to hear about what he's going through and everything like that, shout outs to G right now. This is the time when the wrestling community is supposed to come together, and look out for their boys. And, you know, and this ain't about just being on another show, or it's not about being on a show. It's about doing your thing, showing off your craft for your mans, someone that you've known for years in support for him, and it wasn't, I'm gonna be real with you, it wasn't like the guys from Super Craze hit me up or nothing. Like I saw that they were running the show and I hit up Darren and I'm like, yo, like I gotta be on the show, bro, because I've known him for years. And we had our conversations and everything like that. And then, I saw that it was me and Joker. And I've seen Joker's footage from back in CZW with the blackout and everything like that. And I've always wanted to get an opportunity to actually work him. I've been in some. I think I've only been honestly in like one locker room with him, and that was more recently.
Yeah.
I've always seen his stuff and everything like that. I've always been interested to work with him. Actually, no, 2 locker rooms. My bad.
Okay.
I remember now, JP.
I was gonna say I feel like it had to be at least one more because at JP locker room he was always around. So
exactly. No, so I've always wanted to have that opportunity to work the guys that I've never worked before. And when I saw that, when I got contacted and told like, hey, you're gonna work this guy, I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Then I didn't even know about I'll be honest, I didn't know about the change.
I'm starting to hear that from everyone that it's like no one knew about the switch till it's just like boom, it's announced. I'm like, that's a big change right there. Because there's one thing, it's like, all right, boom, you're going in there with Joker. It's like, okay, that's one just tank to get ready for. And then boom, now you're going in there with Matt too. That's like, okay. Yeah, so who am I teaming with? And then you see it's a good squad though. You got Devontae's in there. That's like, all right, it's a little more even playing field here.
No, absolutely. Again, like I had no clue, busy single father life and everything like that, working and busting my ass. So, I kept posting up the match, me and Joker.
Yeah.
Morning, I think one afternoon I got back home, I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, okay.
It's like, well, let me stop sharing the singles match now. Now to tag me.
I'm back. So, Devontae, I've been in like maybe one locker room with him, but I've heard so many good things about him. I've seen his work. He's really good.
Yep.
Really good. And I know that, a lot of big things are gonna come for him. If he just keeps at it, you know what I'm saying? And with Mac, I've known Mac since I started.
Yeah.
Mac's seen every bit of me in the business, every different version of me, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
And and I've worked a Mac bunch, but the thing is, this is a side of me he's never seen before. Side of me he's never worked with before. Uh, way more mature version of myself than what I was when he dealt with when I was younger. A lot smarter, a lot stronger, faster. And I'm gonna bring something different to the table. And again, I still look forward to working with Mac. I've always been a fan of the OGs of the business, and when I came up, it was pretty much Hit Squad, Homicide, Low Key, Xavier, Amazing Red, and then the rest of them. You know, so he was a part of that group where everything that was really big and prominent in the business at that time was coming out of the Northeast,
Yeah.
and those guys were riding the wave like they were it when it came to the New York wrestling scene. Like if you worked them, like you felt like you hit it big. So
Yeah.
me first time meeting Mac, period, I was just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Young kid, even me just training. I remember the first time I actually met them. It was at Ace. It was Mac that came. It was Low Key, Homicide, I believe, and I think that was it. Mouth wasn't there, and I remember being so intimidated because I used to see how Low Key worked and everything like that. That everybody started training, and I kind of like snuck out of the ring because of the intimidation factor. Because, like I said, during that time, they were no joke.
Yeah.
What brought in the ring was no joke. How they did things were no joke. You know, not knowing that at that time they were doing business. You know what I'm saying? And when you're young in the business and stuff like that, it is an intimidating thing now that you're now on the other side of the ring with these people.
Yeah.
But then again, over the years, as you're working with these people and you're getting to know them and everything, and you know that they're gonna bring the best out in you. And again, when we all rep G's, I'm pretty sure we're gonna all bring the best out of each other.
That's something I'm looking forward to. Not only just being there, but also getting to just see what that's going to look like on Saturday. Because it's one of those where it's going to be something where I've said it countless times. There's a reason why, guys, if you haven't already, get your tickets. Because this match alone, I'm looking forward to just seeing the collision here of all four of you guys. Because I know Devonta has been a student of the game, watching all you guys, and me, I've tried to just study anything I can. So getting to watch all you guys and then getting to call this match on Saturday, I can't wait. Like it's gonna be great.
I look forward to it.
Definitely. So now let's get to another matchup here. Let's talk about the one that's gonna be that following. It's I believe 2 weeks away as well. So let's talk about this. That's going to be at Pro Wrestling Magic now. Again, you have that Dark Arts Championship. You might be going home maybe with a little more gold around your waist, as it's going to be not only for that Dark Arts Championship, it's going to be for the Tri-Wizard Championships and the Funhouse American Lucha Championship here, as it'll be winner takes all with Donovan versus Steve Off versus Smiley here. So unfortunately, this matchup came about because the last time you and Smiley got in there, it didn't have a definite winner there. So now we're adding another element to it, and we're adding to see what could happen here with all three of you guys squaring off.
I mean, let's be honest here. Let's be real here. I'm gonna both their asses, right? That's what's gonna happen, right?
Again, I have to try to be. I have to be the unbiased one here. I got to be civil with it. This is.
I mean, when I came back around, I'm gonna bring you back. It's gonna bring it back to that other question because I sat there in a tangent for a little while.
It's all good. It's all good.
But that's what I do. So you gotta get used to it.
Hey, it's what we want on the podcast, though. We want long conversations. If we're just like the one word, like this,
No, it's
People don't
boring.
want to hear that. They want to hear the long-winded stories. So
Exactly.
go away, bro.
So coming back to Magic and everything, I knew it was that time now to start coming back. Got into the best. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life right now. And I knew it was time to come back already. My body felt like it was ready to go. And I would always see Steve is always talking about, I'm gonna give a kid a shot, make a name for himself, all this other nonsense. And the one mistake he made, and I said this already, the one mistake he made was he said even the old heads could get it. And I'm like, you ain't worked me yet. You know what it's like to work me. All right, no problem. I got you. So I showed up. As I said before, I put a little pressure on Smiley, who is the commissioner of the company. I had him surrounded with my group, surrounded his group, and his wifey was there too. So put them in an uncomfortable position where Smiley had to give me the match right then and there. And there you have it. I'm the new Dark Arts champion. Now we fast forward to the next month is me and Smiley because exactly is me and Smiley because Smiley wanted to go ahead and make up for for not looking like a man in front of his wife. So at that point, we had our thing going on. It was the battle of the groups right there. We did our thing, and of course, Steve came to ruin that. So now Steve wants to run his mouth and he wants to talk about how he's gonna beat us both up. Steve can't fight himself out of a paper bag, dog. So it's not. I'm not worried about Steve. Smiley knows he could get the smoke too, so I ain't worried about Smiley. It's gonna be another W for Hispanos Unidos. We're gonna move forward and we're gonna continue to do big things in Progress and Magic. And then when we're done and tired of Progress and Magic, like I said, we're gonna move on to bigger and better things. And it's gonna be good to get the Funhouse Championship, Tri Wizards Championship, and that company. Little fact, in Pro Wrestling Magic, I'm the first person to have ever won all the singles titles that they have to offer. Obviously, besides all the male singles titles.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
you add the Tri Wizards, then all that's left is just the tag titles, and you have the true Grand Slam champion of the company. So that'd be a little something interesting to go for, maybe. But again, they're both two pretty good competitors, not better than me, so I ain't worried about it. It's gonna be a fight though. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a lot of history with me and Steve, and me and Smiley. I've known Smiley forever too. Smiley's a great, underrated. Should have been somewhere a long time ago, but unfortunately gonna get his ass kicked by me. Type of, you know.
I like how it's that perfect. Like, yeah, I'm put him over, but then it's like, no. Realization kicks in. It's like, no, I'm still. It's again. It's like I said. I got to try to be unbiased here because it's already known. I've favored once or twice the Psycho one, but again, I'm being unbiased here. We're trying to remain civil and neutral in this conversation. So.
Terrible.
I already said I do like what you're doing with Hispanos Unidos, so it's like I'm a little torn right there. You know what I mean? It's also the last time I was at Pro Wrestling Magic, Smiley decided to throw my shoe, so I don't know. Maybe I do have to
Yeah,
go against them at this show.
You letting people disrespect you and you gonna cheer for them?
I don't know. That last time I was at Magic, I ended up getting killed by Moth. My shoe gets thrown. It's I don't know. I'm gonna try to be there June 24th, but I don't know. I gotta come a little more prepared because last time was a little painful.
Put on some bubble wrap.
But let's keep it going here because there was one team I forgot to mention. I don't know how because it features you and one of my best friends in the business as well, Anthony Gangone. So I want to talk about that. How was that for you and that time getting the team with him?
Me and Gangone, we've known each other forever. Um, we've we've fought each other plenty of times. We never had the opportunity to actually be on the same team. We always were fighting against each other, whether it was him with Mark Quinn or he was teaming up with some other kid. I don't remember his name. But it was against me and Rob, and we always have really good matches. And sure enough, the opportunity came for We were in Global Syndicate Wrestling,
Yep.
and we were there, and we were at first, I believe we were doing our own thing, but then they were just like, "You guys would be great for each other," and we're like, "Yeah." That was both of us, but we always wanted that opportunity to actually come up, and when we had it, we were very excited for it, and we gelled pretty damn well. And we thought Global Syndicate was going to be more than what it was. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And that was the end of that show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the opportunity came for us to team again, so we would both jump on it again. But it hasn't come. And if it's meant to happen, it'll happen.
Gotcha. Oh, definitely. I definitely was a fan of seeing you guys together, just because I felt like it definitely you saw it gel well there, especially with the experience you guys both have in there. It was one where I feel like it was a matter of time you guys were gonna be holding some tag gold, but unfortunately, the company did go the ways it did. But hey, you never know what could happen in the future.
I
So
mean,
it's one.
I thank them as well too. They put us in really good positions, and
Yeah.
they put us against some of the top guys. On the independent circuit right now, whether it was us taking on Hammerstone and Holiday, we worked, Fatu, and we were able to get some good matches against good talent, and there was more coming, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. And again, like I just said, like the grit that me and Go and have, and the fact there's something about trusting your partner, and that's what we did. We trusted each other in what we presented and what we did, and that's why we gelled so well, because of the fact that he knew that if he slacked on something, I'm gonna pick it up for him, and whatever I slacked on, he was gonna pick up on that end. So that
Gotcha.
came together pretty well.
That's perfect right there. And to comments here, I guess it was because of my shoe comment earlier. My boy Toe was saying you got to throw Tim's. I didn't want to throw my shoe in the first place. It got thrown. I definitely wouldn't want to throw my Tim's. It's just it got thrown. This
You got
wasn't a by choice comment.
snatched it up on him.
But so with that being said, with all the teams and the factions you've gotten to be a part of, for you, would you say do you prefer that style being in a pack mentality like that, or do you like to just be the lone wolf there and be the true just the Brooklyn Outlaw himself?
I'll be honest with you. I'm in life. I'm a lone wolf. Like I'm to
Okay.
myself. So I like the whole lone wolf thing. Don't get me wrong. I love the guys that I'm around.
Yeah.
Good guys and everything like that. And again, like if you see me in behind the scenes, I'm their biggest cheerleaders, and I'm always there to be very honest and open with them. Again, I'm not a person. I don't like to sugarcoat stuff. I don't like to act like I'm your friend when I'm not. I'm very real. I'm very raw. There's no in betweens with me. I either fuck with you or I don't.
Yeah.
The people that I do rock with, I'm very open with them. I'm not afraid to tell them if they did something wrong, because you're not going to learn from that. So I'm very open with them and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm their biggest cheer. Even when it comes, even Gangon, you could ask Gangon.
Yeah.
Gangon will come. He came to the back from one show. Everybody was busy being their usual fake self. Great match. Great match. And I told him, I said, you did really well, but
Yeah.
but and because I'm very honest, and how are you gonna learn if you're not honest with people? You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like the person because they're honest, then that just shows the type of person that you are. You get what I'm saying?
No, definitely. And that's something I've gotten to see firsthand, because I remember after one of the shows, I want to say it was the project show, where we all got to hang out for a bit and talk, and hearing you actually be real with critiques, it's like it's lost a lot of times. A lot of times it's one of those where it's like people just want to be like, yeah, it was good. You did awesome. And then it's like, okay, there's nothing to learn from that. Getting the actual breakdown and being like, yeah, this was good, but this and this, like you could have worked. It's like, that's actually something to learn from, instead of just the, yeah, it was good, you did awesome. It's like,
Yeah, no, you don't pick up nothing from that. You learn
yeah,
nothing. You know, I've had it happen to me when I was younger in the business, that I'm asking people and they like a great match. And I was very, very, I'm a very strategic person. So I'm very strategic about my questioning with them. So when they tell me that, I'll be like, well, what about this and this and this? And they'll say, yeah. And I'm already catching on that they were bullshit because they ain't watching. So I'll add something that never happened in the match. Like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. And I just walk away because I know they're full of shit already.
Yeah, it's like, no,
I can't-
it's one of those where it's like, man, I'm sorry, I didn't get to watch it, but I heard it though. The reaction, it's like,
I'd rather somebody say that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. What
Yeah.
you said, literally, if I didn't watch your match, and I've had a couple of the guys tell me, watch the match, and I'm like, I got you. And I'll get stuck doing something, whether it's
No.
they do pre-tape or if I'm, getting ready for my match, or even just the fact that I had to go to the damn bathroom and I missed the match.
Yeah.
When they come back, if they'll be like, yo, did you watch it? This and that, I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't watch it, my bad. But I heard it and I could hear that they were reacting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I won't lie and I won't try to break down something that I didn't see,
Yeah. See, but
But-
even that's more crucial, and that's actually something better than just being like, man, let me just bullshit and be like, yeah, you did well. Like, I thought this was good. It's like, yo, you saw that 360? He's like, yeah. I never did a 360, bro.
But that, what's the problem? That's the biggest problem with the business right now on the independent circuit because of the fact that a lot of people, if you watch a lot of the matches, and let's just be honest, a lot of the matches are trash. And it's because of the fact that people aren't being honest with each other and telling each other, yo, this came out really bad, or this doesn't look good, but let's do this to make it look even better. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be, you could be real and be honest. Because, like I said, I'm very real and honest with how I critique people. But at the same time, I'm not going to just shit on you and everything like that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to tell you, well, this didn't come out too good. And this is the reason why. And I'll break it down specifically so you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I say, it's you got to be very specific with people. So it's at the same time, too, it's like, you could tell them, like, this is what you can do to make it look even better.
Yeah, and that's where it's coming from. It's not just like, oh, this was shitty and that's it. Again, you can't learn from that either. It's one of those where you're trying to make sure, hey, this is what went wrong. Let's you could do this now to make it better.
Exactly.
So
a lot of people in the business, they either don't want to learn or they think. I mean, you can go to any kid show and do crazy stuff that makes no sense, and everybody's gonna pop for it because it's a bunch of kids. But now, if you have somebody that really wants to see the betterment of the business, sit there and tell you, yo, how about you? If you can do this and this, it just might be that much more better. Really taking that information. But just a lot of kids are either very sensitive in the business, and I'm not afraid to say these things. They're either very sensitive in the business that if you tell them something, it's a problem, or secondly, they just can't, they're so stuck in their mind thinking that, they're this superstar that really doesn't exist. You're not a superstar unless you're making money, my guy. If you're really not making money off this business, if you cannot sit there and tell me that I don't work a 9 to 5 or I don't work this job and that job because I'm making money specifically off of wrestling, and you can literally tell me I can pay my rent or my mortgage, whatever it is, I could pay off my transportation, I can go ahead and pay all my bills. If you can't tell me you doing that, you're not really you're not it. You know what I'm saying? So don't sit there and get all gassed up in your head. Like, literally learn from people, because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with someone trying to actually teach you because of the fact that they want to make you better. They can have there, and they might be able to see something that you don't see.
And that's the biggest thing. It's one of those where it's taking that advantage. If someone is definitely even trying to give you that piece of advice or give you a little bit of that knowledge right there, it's one of those where you should take it. And I got to ask you that then, do you feel like maybe that's one of the biggest things that's changed throughout the years in the business is not many people want to take that advice anymore, which I still don't understand why. Like, that's one of those things. If I'm in a locker room, no matter who's, especially if there's guys that I know have been around a lot longer, it's like, why not? Hey, like, you got any tips for this? And it's always just getting that knowledge. I hate when I see guys that are just like, they're just to themselves. Like, talk to someone. There's a bunch of guys here that could give you some advice.
Oh, there's a bunch of people that walk around and I don't know how they get where they're at, but they think that they're sometimes think that they're king shit, and they're really not. And they just have this mindset. I don't know where it came from. I don't know whether it's everybody just not wanting to hurt everybody's feelings because of this old whack ass cancel culture and shit. I don't know where it came from, but just some people just are afraid to tell other people things, or just for that matter, some people just act like their shit don't stink. And that's a very toxic way to walk around in this business. And I can tell you, I've learned that on my own. When I was younger in the business, in that corny ass singlet, that you sit there and you sit there and you think you think you're going somewhere that you're not really going, and people try to tell you all this advice and everything like that, and you just like yeah, you yell people to death, and you're really not taking in the information that they're providing you, because again, like I said, they're seeing something that you're not seeing because you're actually actively in there, and these people are actually watching and studying what you're doing, and they're in the game too, and they might not be making billions of dollars, but they might know a certain thing, a certain movement that might change and might elevate your game. And you honestly, some people give good advice, some people give bad advice, but at the same time, they're still giving you advice. So take that information in, let it sink in. Go rewatch your match. Anybody that says that they don't watch their matches after they had it and they'll try to go, oh, well, let's move on to the next. My guy, you're not in the big leagues yet. You're not on TV. Those guys can move on and go to the next one. And even they study their matches. So you should be sitting there. Every time my match happens, I can't wait to go watch it on IWTV. That's his little plug right there. I can't wait to go watch it. I can't wait to go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see what I can do better. And I'm my worst critic. I have matches that I feel like there's matches that I can vouch on are bangers, and there's matches of myself that I can watch and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck were you doing? Like, and you got to be hard on yourself to get yourself better like that. Don't get gassed up because there's a bunch of people saying, oh, you're great, you're this, you're that. Yeah, that's cool that you got a little fan club, but at the same time too, like, really, really look at that match and now go compare it to what you're seeing on TV. You get what I'm saying? Compare to what you see. Because at the end of the day, you're not on the indies. You're not in the indies trying to say, oh, I don't want to make it. Because at the end of the day, Japan, they work the same. They work a little bit of a different style, but they're still trying to work for TV. Yep. You got AEW, it's all over the place, but they're still trying to work for TV. WWE, I always would say, is the most polished version of wrestling you can get. And if you can work that style, you become an easy plug and play for them, you know? And it's just like I said, like I don't understand some of the kids' mentalities and everything like that. I wish I did, but it's all about just putting it together, man. And there's a bunch of old heads that I've talked to, that I've trained with, and they say the same things. And these are guys that are actually successful in this business, that can still at their age run circles around dudes. And I'll tell you, Homicide's one of them. I look up, Homicide is the one person I look up more than anybody. There's Homicide and there's Moth. Those are my two guys right there. And whatever they say, I pay attention when they talk. You get me? And, they're not afraid to tell you things flat out. Homicide is not afraid to test you, and he's not afraid to call you out on your shit, and he's not afraid to push you to that. If he sees it in you, he'll push you. You get me?
Gotcha. No, definitely. And that's something I've gotten to see firsthand, especially from Moth. I always get that. Like, that's one of those where it's like, and that's what I try to do anytime I say it's wrestling deals. Like, anytime I get a little bit of info, just a little bit of something that's like, I'm taking it to the fullest extent. Because again, it's wanting to learn. It's wanting to get better in this business.
No, absolutely. They're guys that know what they're doing, and you can see that they can still go. Like I said, yeah. Homicide can still work circles on a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah.
At his age, and he still went to go train with him one time, and I remember it was me. I'll be honest with you, it was me, Pena, Azrael, and I think Reinman was there.
Okay.
And we went to go run these drills with Homicide, and we were excited because we were going to train Homicide, and and he was going to start training with us, and everything was good. And he was running these drills. I'm not going to go too far into it, But the drills that he was running, like by the time we ended, we were all relieved that it ended.
It's one of those where Theo Mack has said it a few times. He goes straight into blow up drills. That's it. You're done by the.
That's what you should do. That's all you should be doing, and people don't get that. Like, I hate going to a training session and dudes start, doing like they'll literally start their training with a match, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you should be working on your footwork. You should
Yeah.
be like that's if you can make sure that that's natural, that comes off real. That's when you have a good match. That's when your movement becomes better. You know what I'm saying? And people don't work on that part of the craft.
Yeah.
People don't do that.
This whole interview has just been a lot of plugs of the craft. Thank you so much. He's gotten the word the craft in there too many times.
It's facts though, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, he's there. Like I said, the drills he was running, it's like I think by the time that they were saying that they were ready to close up shop, I'm literally looking at Darren like, please tell him to stop. He's thinking, you see it, it's in his head. He's thinking, and he has that sinister look on his face, and you're like, fuck. And then
the minute they're like, yeah, we got to end this, it's like, thank you, we're good. But that's what you want. Again, that's the full extent of like, I've gotten one chance to be around the training session with Loki, and it was the same. That's the minute after, you're just like, but that's learning. That's actually getting in there and getting something from it.
It tests you, man. Yeah. And the one thing I know that Homicide looks for is, and he could tell me if I'm wrong. He'll look to see, one, if you come back, which he did, and two, if you're gonna quit on him in the middle of that. And it's Homicide, so you're not gonna quit.
Yeah.
Pushing, and he questioned me one time. He's like, there was I think there was, what was it? I forgot what drill we were doing, and it was with squats and a whole bunch of shit that we were carrying at the same time. And he saw that it slowed down, and he's like, "You gonna quit on me?" And I was like, "Don't fucking talk to me right now." But that he had that smile, his little damn fucking sinister smile. He had that smile on the face because he was like, "Yes, he's pushing through." Like, I know do it. You know what I'm saying? So if he's really behind you and he's really giving you shit, it's because he honestly believes in you.
Yeah, and that's
wants to see you push yourself.
And that's the best thing when you have someone like that. And again, that goes with any of the OGs like that. When they see something, if they see something in you, it's like, we're gonna push it until it fully comes out. And it's great because you're doing that same kind of thing with the group. You're doing that with the guys in Esposo Unidos. You see that there. You see each one of them. You've said it here. It's like there's something you want to keep pushing them to get to that next level so they can reach their full potential there. So it's great because it's going through. It's following just that same path that OGs have set already. You're keeping it going for that next generation as well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you for that too.
No, definitely, man. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time here because it's been a great convo already. But I want to start wrapping it up because, again, I know you're a busy man. Like you said, you're doing your stuff as well. So I got one final question I want to ask. So for the Brooklyn Outlaw himself, for Donovan, what is the end goal, brother?
3 letters. WWE. There's never been, don't get me wrong, I would love to, like, a lot of people lie to themselves now because there's variety out there now. But everybody's goal has always been that as a kid. Everybody's goal has always been that when they started out in professional wrestling because that was the only show in town. And that passion has never changed for me when it comes to where I want to be. I feel like I can give something back there, no matter what role it is, and I feel like it's possible. I feel like it's just a matter of the timing, and timing is everything. If I would have, let's say I would have been able to make it there when I was younger, I would have gotten myself blackballed more than I probably already am. No, but I would have probably got myself. Yeah. I would have probably got myself blackballed. I was very immature, very, very naive. I thought my shit didn't stink. Yeah. And now, I'm a lot more humbler about how I move, and I'm very comfortable with the brand that I present. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do, and even if I can't do it, I find ways to do it in a
Yeah,
certain way to present it well.
gotcha.
Um, and I've never been more comfortable being me because I am being myself. You know,
Gotcha.
100% authentic. Um, and I know, a little part of them has seen that through Evolve. So, it's just a matter of timing and if it's meant to be. But I'm not gonna at the same time too, I'm not gonna leave it up to, oh, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm gonna still go out there and try to get it,
Yep.
because I'm not a patient man either. So if you want something that much, go get it. And like I said, I'm playing, I'm kind of playing in like a Russian roulette with it right now. I'm just gonna shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? Because I got nothing to lose. You
There
know?
you go. Best way to look at it. And again, especially just seeing what you keep doing. Hey, again, it's only a matter of time. That's one of those, like you said, it's already been seen. They already have that eye. It's just when it's going to fit perfectly because it's a great growth. Even from this stage right there, there was a growth to now what we see today. Again, to see the Donovan we see today. But who knows? Maybe this guy could have made it in. We don't know.
Oh,
So it just wasn't the timing. That's all.
that was terrible. Who is
That's one of the things I always like to do. You can ask Steel Max, another one. I always try to find like the earliest picks I can, but
yeah,
because it's one of those where you get to see that true growth of it all and see what the story is. 'Cause that to me is always the best part of seeing how we get to who we see today. So,
absolutely.
but
Evolution.
guy, but yeah. So thank you so much, brother, for joining me. But guys, please don't forget to go follow Donovan as well. Follow him on Instagram right there, BK_outlaw718. I love that 718 is still there as well.
Oh,
So got to represent right there.
never will go away.
And
I'm
then you got go follow him on Twitter as well. Same handle, just at the @ right there. So at BK_outlaw718. Brother, thank you so much. It's truly been a pleasure and a lot of gems, which I hope anyone watching and watching the replay as well learn from this, take notes, and truly just again use it wisely because it's one of those where in this business, be willing to learn. That's always the best thing. Be willing to learn. Take one of my trainers always to say, keep this shut, keep these wide open because you
facts.
want to learn.
Smart
So
about it.
so there you go. But brother, thank you so much. And as always, guys, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.